Spotlight, lectures and performances on and around Albany State University.
Thank you. Thank you very much and welcome. Thank you for coming out tonight to what we will attempt to do is present our art in honor of and saying thank you to all of you who have struggled and fought for us in the movement, as it's commonly called, and those who continue to struggle. We want to say thank you, and this is the best way that we can, is representing our art. That was Milestones, of course, by Miles Davis. Thank you. And I will tell you formally, even though you have it on your programs, who's playing for you individually. On piano from St. Louis, Missouri, my compadre, one of my best friends in this universe, George Michael Rice here on piano. From Queens, New York, on bass, another one of my compadres, if you will, on bass, y'all, George Rogers from Queens. And of course, my homeboy, my little baby brother here, from New Orleans, Louisiana, Alfred Slevant. And of course, my co-worker, my boy. He never gets mad. Brother Ken Chambers, Dr. Ken Chambers. I'm Michael DeQueer. We both at Albany State University on tenor, some alto, and alto flute. And then later on in the program, you're going to hear from two other co-workers, dynamic people, Dr. Weber, Deanna Weber, and Dr. Mack. So we'll do some special things for you tonight. We're going to continue the program. I won't talk too long. This next one is by Charlie Parker, and it's called Alucia. And I don't know what that means, but Dr. Chambers and I have been struggling with this. We hope you like it. Alucia by Charlie Parker.
From the days of bebop, when jazz ceased to cater to popular audiences and instead became solely about the music and the musicians who played it, jazz has been symbolically linked to the civil rights movement. The music, which appealed to whites and blacks alike, provided a culture in which the collective and the individual were inextricable, and in which one was judged by his ability alone, and not by race or any other irrelevant factors. It has been quoted that jazz predicted the civil rights movement more than any other art in America. Not only was jazz structured similarly to ideals of the civil rights movement, jazz musicians took up the cause, using their celebrity and their music to promote racial equality and social justice. We would like to start the second half with a piece by John William Coltrane entitled Alabama. Coltrane wrote the song Alabama in response to the Birmingham bombing. He patterned his saxophone playing on Martin Luther King's funeral speech. Midway through the song, mirroring the point where King transforms his mourning into a statement of renewed determination for the struggle against racism.
Thank you.
Good evening. I like that. So polite, so polite. In 1963, 30 African-American girls were arrested in Americus, Georgia, and placed in a stockade in Leesburg with no bed, no sanitary facilities, little food, and without their families' knowledge of where they were. They stayed in jail for 45 days. About this tragic moment, one of the survivors, the late Miss Sandra Mansfield, said, and I quote, "We were hoping to go home, but we were told we were going to be taken outside one by one and killed. So, every day, we lived in fear." This poem that I'm doing for you tonight is a part of their story. These girls were called the Stolen Girls. And it's an homage to what they experienced. It's an imagined conversation between two of the girls. One, a little more fearful of what could possibly happen to them while they were there those 45 days. And the other, a little more resolute in her knowledge that they would survive. The title of the poem is Little Lost Girls. So what can I tell you? America has built a reputation on telling half-truths and on hundreds of years of discovering lands that were already inhabited. I would love to tell you that we would be here long enough to see things change, but all I can give you is a word, a promise of truth, respect, honor, and hope. So you have to listen. Come in real close to what I have to say. Take in a deep breath. Inhale the possibilities and know that you have the power in your lungs to shout clear from Albany, Georgia to the entire world when you speak positivity. So listen. Listen to the sound of greatness, to the aura of change, a vibration of movement, a chorus of heavenly voices, majestic, and knowing that it is not about this dwelling. I pray more than any of us that we will see at least one more day, surviving on leftovers, but still firm in our knowing that we are more than our circumstances and capable of surpassing our fears. Our possibilities are endless, our dreams eternal. We are, you and me, the things most hoped for, the evidence of our family's greatest triumphs. So no, beloved, we don't end here. We press on to ensure that those most dear to us will hear from us again. And on that day, when we see them, we will remind them that this moment has taken nothing from us, for it has no power except what we give it. We must have faith, and mustard seed size will do to endure the suffering. So, yes, there will be hardship, and yes, there will be oppression, and yes, there will be abuse and neglect. But these things are not you. As tragic as they are not your reality. That resides somewhere else. Hardship is not the soul of this beautiful little girl who rides her bike along dusty South Georgia roads. So, recall the scent of perseverance and remember, the entire world is looking at this moment, at you. What will they see, little one? What will you show them? They're watching, watching, watching you. What will they see? Thank you.
Pride in being black was central to Ellington's beliefs. Ellington used to argue that social protests in the theater should be made without saying it, and that calls for real craftsmanship. The fact was, with the exception of Billie Holiday, no other leading jazz artist in the 1930s made such open political statements in their music. Come Sunday is a song derived from Ellington's instrumental jazz suite Black, Brown, and Beige, a musical history of African Americans that premiered at Carnegie Hall in 1944. In 1958, Ellington added text to this instrumental theme, and the song became a standard of his sacred jazz concerts. The song is ultimately about the providence of God in all our lives. The refrain addresses God directly. Lord, dear Lord above, God Almighty, God of love. And then makes a petition. Please look down and see my people through. The stanzas point to hope and heaven, concluding that, with God's blessing, we can make it through eternity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here is Dr. Deanna Weber with Duke Ellington's Come Sunday.
Come
Dizzy Gillespie's presidential run first began as a joke when his booking agency produced pens that said, "Dizzy Gillespie for President." But during times when the civil rights movement was reaching a peak and African Americans were becoming more frustrated, he was convinced by Jean Gleason, the wife of jazz writer Ralph Gleason, to make his run for president official. In the summer of 1963, Dizzy's campaign began in Chicago at a rally organized by the Gleasons. Soon, the Dizzy for President badges were seen all over the country at rallies for CORE. Dizzy claimed if elected, he would fight for civil rights and equal opportunity in the job market. Gillespie also said those applying for jobs have to wear sheets over their heads so bosses won't know what they are until they have been hired. Dizzy also said that he would end the war in Vietnam, give full diplomatic recognition to China, and health care and education would be free. Ramona Crowell was selected to be the vice president, Miles Davis, the director of the CIA, Louis Armstrong as Minister of Agriculture, and Charles Mingus, the Minister of Peace, as well as roles for Ella Fitzgerald, Max Roach, Peggy Lee, Woody Herman, Ray Charles, and Count Basie. Though the campaign didn't result in a victory for Gillespie, Dizzy said that it was not merely a publicity stunt. "I had a real reason for running because the proceeds from the sale of the buttons went to CORE and SCLC, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, whose president was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and I could threaten the Democrats with a loss of votes and swing them to a more reasonable position on civil rights." Although sometimes criticized by activists and black musicians for playing into the Uncle Tom stereotype by performing for mainly white audiences, Louis Armstrong often had a subtle way of dealing with racial issues. In 1929, he recorded "What Did I Do to Be So Black and Blue?", a song from a popular musical. The lyrics include the phrase, "My only sin is in my skin. What did I do to be so black and blue?" The lyrics, out of the context of the show and sung by a black performer in that period, were a risky and weighty commentary. Armstrong became a cultural ambassador for the U.S. during the Cold War, performing jazz all over the world. In response to increasing turmoil swirling around the desegregation of public schools, Armstrong was outspokenly critical of his country. After the 1957 Little Rock crisis, when the National Guard prevented 9 black students from entering a high school, Armstrong canceled a tour to the Soviet Union and said publicly, "The way they're treating my people in the South, the government can go to hell." What a Wonderful World was intended as an antidote for the increasingly racially and politically charged climate of everyday life in the United States. The song also has a hopeful, optimistic tone with regard to the future, with reference to babies being born in the world and having much to look forward to. The song was initially offered to Tony Bennett, who turned it down. Therefore, it was offered to Louis Armstrong, who accepted it and made it one of the most popular songs ever written. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming. This is our last piece that we're going to do, and this is What a Wonderful World. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see the moon for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark secret night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people